Hey, it's Shane with GotRom.com. I want to talk to you today about why yoga injures people. And yes, I'm sorry to tell you, but sometimes yoga injures people. And actually, to be more accurate, it's probably people doing yoga wrong or instructors instructing wrong injures people while they're taking a yoga class. But there's four main things that I wanted to show you about why you could hurt yourself while doing yoga. One is simply too much too soon. You are all enthusiastic, you started a new health kick, a new yoga kick, and you start doing just class after class, and you go from sedentary lifestyle to tons and tons and tons of stretching, and inevitably you're enthusiastic about it, so you're trying to get deep into the stretch, you're looking around and seeing all these bendy people, and you're trying to get into the same shapes and positions as them, and it's just too much too soon. So if you find that you're a little over exuberant when you start yoga and you maybe are tweaking yourself or have been injured in the past, slow down a little bit, give it a little bit of a easier effort, and don't fall into the trap of doing too much too soon. The other reason why people injure themselves in yoga is lack of body awareness. So kind of like I was just talking about, you get into the class, you're trying to do these poses, you're a little bit distracted in your mind, and you don't notice when your body is telling you, oh, that position actually doesn't feel very good. I'm doing a forward fold, and I just feel this big stretch in my back that doesn't quite feel right, but I'm just going to push it anyway because I look over and I see that woman with her hands palms flat on the ground, and so I feel like I must be there too. So it's this lack of body awareness that you can only really learn by just trial and error. You got to kind of feel, okay, when I stretch this way, I feel the stretch in my hamstrings if you're doing a forward fold, or if I stretch in this other way, I feel it in my back, or maybe you're doing pigeon pose and you feel, yeah, I feel it a little bit in my glutes where the instructor tells me I'm supposed to feel it, but I also feel it kind of in my outer knee, but I'm just assuming I just need to stretch out my knee or something like that, which is a big no-no. You should not stretch your knee. But it's just a general lack of body awareness that comes with experience. I've injured myself stretching variously over the years. Thankfully, it's been quite a few years since that has happened because you develop a body awareness over time. The other reason people possibly injure themselves in yoga is because they are not also including self-massage. So yoga is primarily a little bit of strength training, holding different poses, different asanas, and flexibility work, stretching. But it doesn't include any form of softening muscles up. I feel like this is a big missing piece in the yoga community, as it is in the CrossFit weightlifting community, is having soft, supple muscles. It actually really matters. And so if you're stretching all the time, but you have these kind of, maybe you got an old hamstring strain or an old torn muscle or this injury or that injury, when you have injuries in life, your muscles get torn, for example, they don't just reform perfectly symmetrically. They kind of reform all knotted and scraggly and like a scar ball. And then if you try to just start stretching on top of that, it doesn't stretch symmetrically and uniformly until you get into that scar ball, soften it up with some self-massage, and then stretch it. So if more yogis incorporated more self-massage, there'd be less injuries from yoga. So that's the third reason. And then the fourth reason is actually a lack of strength training. There is such a thing as becoming hypermobile and flexible and mobile in the wrong places. So a lot of yogis just think that the more flexible they become, the healthier they are. And unfortunately, there is the law of diminishing returns where you keep increasing your range of motion, and at some point you just kind of become noodly and you actually need more stability and control in various positions. And my opinion is that optimal health comes from a combination of range of motion plus control. You're both mobile and stable. So some yogis, when they're pushing it too far, can become hypermobile and kind of loose, and then in life when they actually need stability and firmness, they don't have it. So they would be well served by incorporating a little bit of strengthening and a little bit more stability work, maybe even some kind of like more sporting athletic things like plyometrics, like jumping and landing, because maybe they haven't been training for jumping and landing, they're just doing these kind of slow postures and flows, and then they go out camping one day and they're jumping from boulder to boulder, and they're not used to producing that kind of force, that amount of force jumping, and absorbing force landing, and they just don't have that strength and motor control. So the fourth reason is a lack of strength and stability. Is one reason why people can get injured in yoga or because of yoga. So if you find yourself in one of those four categories, try to put in the missing piece of the puzzle, and you'll be a healthier, more well-rounded human, more well-rounded athlete. So give it a shot.